Our Constitution grants the right to protect all three.
Violations occur everywhere, and the perpetrators remain unpunished for years. Therefore, I believe this entire system is meaningless.
In August 2019, we launched a campaign to radically change the laws of the criminal justice system, make them incorporate modern amnesty, modern science
and technology as a key component, and bring FIIR to the logical within 3 years, ensuring parts of PM. En sakot that when I started, my colleagues initially
warned and discouraged. Hakarumi. But the intention was more to warn me, sir, this is a huge task. If you want to start a tax group, but don't speak publicly, mod. But today I am pleased
that we are on the verge of completing a task that has been a journey of 7 years and will be able to complete it. The NCRB plays a crucial role in this. The NCRB director is sitting among us today.
As Alok Rangan arrived, I jokingly remarked what one day, this is my Pronok. Public event as NCRB director. Friends, I want to say without hesitation that Alok Ranjan Sandner will be etched in golden letters in the history of both the NCRB and the criminal justice system. During his tenure, the NCRB
was transformed
from a mere information or fraud unit to a center of intelligence and criminal justice. I have held meetings with the home ministers and chief ministers of approximately
24 states across the country to discuss the implementation of new laws. The BP, PRND, and NCRB were crucial pillars of this process. There used to be a home ministry. But like a mother, the NCR has not only inspired, but also trained the police.
So I'd say, Chris, no police in every state to build their capacity. And because of this, today, after the implementation of the new law, every police station in the country, irrespective of political parties and governments, is functioning smoothly without a single complaint. This is our very important joint. I also want to thank all the state governments for this. Friends, today is the 26th All India Fingerprint Conference.
At this conference, we will discuss the training structure of a fingerprint science, manpower, modern technology, and how to use all these mechanisms and how to detect its do's, achieve its success.
I personally believe that the most powerful weapon in is to not gun against crime is not. The most powerful weapon is scientific evidence scientific evidence is preserved from the beginning. There can be no greater weapon in bringing criminals. It unique show you're not bringing in nation years show that you're way to do it. Fingerprints, fingerprint records, and the use of these records are crucial components of our efforts to gather scientific evidence. And Nafis is a tool for this. Nafis was
First introduced in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. In 2003, it was then expanded to the Gujarat level, and when we introduced Nafis, this nationwide Nafis, there are numerous cases where
Nafis has significantly simplified even the most complex cases. However, I still believe that Nafis is only being used 10% of the time. Nafis isn't necessary solely to find criminals.
Nafis can only be truly successful if you enrich Nafis that with fingerprints obtained from every crime scene. None. This is a two-way system.
Very useful in proving a criminal, but it can only be used when data is generated. So when we train, we must also make data enrichment by uploading collected fingerprints into the data, and an important pillar of our training. Friends, our goal is very clear. No matter how clever a criminal, he or she should not escape the combined power of law and science. We aim to control crime by utilizing scientific investigation, timely prosecution, and an integrated criminal justice system. The belief that crime is controlled by apprehending criminals is a naive one. When a sense of punishment for crime is established, it achieves great success in preventing crime and can prevent many people from becoming criminals.
Therefore, our emphasis should on not only apprehending the criminal, but also on proving the crime and proving it in a timely manner.
Friends, today the CRBs of the NCRBs began up the CRPI, e-prosecution and e-forensic were launched. When
I took all these things to Parliament to give them legal, many learned MPs ridiculed me, saying that I would misuse it politically. They even expressed a concern, perhaps political.
Now, how will you reach it across such a vast country, across so many police stations, so many courts, so many jails, and so many FSLs? How will you combine it? Even if you do combine it, there will be a mountain of information. How will you analyze it? Even if you analyze it, how will you integrate it with the judicial process? I vividly remember
there were 37 speeches in both houses, all of which ridiculed this entire process. And I, as Home Minister, was responding to them like a poor man. Today, no one is more satisfied than me. We implemented the entire law. And all the organs of the criminal justice system whether it's the police, the jails, the prosecution, the courts, or the FSL have accepted it, supported it, and or advancing it, and then are able to supported it. Now we have a responsibility to bring its benefits to the public, and I believe these four new initiatives launched today will
be a powerful tool to bring them to fruition. The public who have struggled and fought to protect their rights for 80 years since independence are frustrated. Yeru, this app and all this science will become the reason for alleviating that frustration. Friends, even during training, we must keep in mind that training in isolation will not work. If we have obtained scientific evidence during the investigation, yet we still include more than 100 individuals as witnesses, you will not be able to get justice quickly, because you yourself will delay and prolong your case. If a fingerprint is found at the crime scene, Mesoti matched with the telephone tower at the crime in Mon Yidre, and the perpetrator is at the RP application. There is no need to keep more than 5 pieces of evidence.
He will be convicted within 60 days, and there are many such cases after the new law that have resulted in convictions of up to life in prison within 90 days. So our training shouldn't be conducted in isolation.
It shouldn't be limited to the use of the app. Training will be conducted from the moment the app is created to the point of charge sheeting, and after that, the prosecution and judiciary will also need to train that if there is enough evidence, no further evidence is needed. Therefore, we have incorporated all
the necessary changes into the new laws, both to simplify the work of the judiciary and simplify the prosecution process. We have dynamically changed all the dimensions of punishment in the old system and have attempted to limit the time for prosecution based on scientific evidence. However, as
this becomes part of our in-depth training, we won't see any results. I urge all the DGPs who are virtually participating in this program to dedicate at least one day a week training on these 5 points for at least 1 year. At least 1 year. Only then can we fully utilize it. Friends, the exercise of converting information into intelligence is crucial. Irish is crucial. Anyone who has carefully read the Mahabharata will know this. The Kauravas, a large number of warriors, abundant resources, and even possessed in a way their army included a large number of charioteers, scientists, and those knowledgeable in
weapons. They possessed a wealth of intelligence and information. They received a wealth of information. And the Pandavas appeared weak in all these. And we want to view those aspects.
If you analyze the Mahabharata war closely, you'll find that an unarmed man, Arjuna's charioteer, was there transform information into intelligence and making war decisions. Ultimately, it was because of Lord Krishna that the Pandavas won the war. I believe our system is in
transforming information into intelligence and punishing criminals, and we must proceed in this.
In this spirit. Friends, I have certain expectations from the states, whether it's the quality of the database, whether it's the CRPF.
Only the states can ensure the quality and security of the database. When we have a DNA sample from a criminal, he has a right to its security. A right arises when we investigate other crimes. We must ensure that samples are collected and stored with precision. But ahiro kamo section. Similarly, we must ensure that the collection, security, and application of delicate data are both carefully protected and utilized. It's good for me now for me. I urge all states to place special emphasis on both the quality
And security of databases. Transforming data into intelligence. I still maintain that a cupboard of data does no one any good. It becomes a burden. But once data is transformed into intelligence, it becomes extremely beneficial. Kumat exacts
pretty beneficial. So using artificial intelligence, a team should be formed in every state to analyze crime patterns using the data being generated.
Team should be formed to identify repeat offenders and to profile them. Criminals exploit jurisdiction between two states. This too should be identified, and the data should be used to identify international criminals. But if we keep this data as it is, it won't be of any use. We need to transform the data into intelligence. We need to build AI teams. And our software must be made accurate and meticulous through and vacuum portion header. Only then will we be able to utilize all these systems. Mention security. We also need to think quickly to fix accountability in our systems for security breaches. Cybersecurity, SO-based access, logs, robust third-party audits, and a system for punishing abuses of power are not unless payables. If we don't do all this system will become a burden for us in the future. As I mentioned earlier, training needs to be made more practical. The size of charge sheets
and challenge needs to be reduced.
Need to insist on bring only useful evidence of faith. Okay, kana. And to utilize technology and to avoid delays in court. Now, all the provisions made in our new laws must be precision by the pro to enter prosecution. Only then will we be able to deliver timely justice. So we must incorporate all these things into training modules. I've seen the training modules of some states. No one can argue otherwise, but in a single module, you don't teach IOs how to shorten a charge sheet. So what's the point of this technology? Fingerprints have been matched, telephone towers, Faces have been matched. I and DNA and A have been matched. And then when you go to court with 250 pieces of evidence, what technology should be used? Practical training must be developed by experienced prosecutors. The collection, preservation, and uploading of chance prints from a crime scene must not be detainted. This also requires meticulous effort. I dare to say all this because you have done the first step very well. But if we don't do these small things properly, our efforts will be wasted. And hi, Mazam Salam. Even the slightest negligence at the scene will weaken our position in court. Therefore, strict management of chance prints should be part of training. We must also integrate coordination, coordination between institutions, states, and neighboring states. We also need to work diligently to actively utilize technology throughout the entire chain of investigation. Friends, today, I want to say to you all that thanks to your efforts and the efforts of the police of all state governments, we have achieved 100 CTNS coverage, i.e., 17,840 police meditations. We currently have 3.73788 million, including legacy data, MITS, and data. 22,000 courts have been integrated with e-courts. The process of making their legacy prosecutions online is also underway. Data on 27 million prisoners is currently available in e-crime. In e-forensics, we have 0.448
million cases and evidence, though the number may be higher.
We have forensic data for 3.448 million cases. And the data from 436,000 Crime 1 alerts is also useful. But I still say this is all just a cupboard lying around in our room. Until we analyze this data using
modern technologies such as AI and
software and put it to practical, it will be a burden, a burden. We, the Home Ministry, have started working on this. We have also involved many young people. Now, the 12.9 million fingerprint records are records of narco-op offenders. There are records of approximately 919,000 narco-op offenders. There are records of 365,000 human trafficking offenders. And the progeny database, all of this combined, has become a huge asset. And now we need to familiarize our entire system with this power and convert this data into strength. It is the responsibility of everyone involved in the criminal justice system for the next 5 years to ensure that data is used in an actionable manner. Make it so that every data point speaks to each other. Develop data analysis methods and engage numerous young people to develop different crime control modules from these. 4 years ago, I launched the Modus Operandi Bureau at the NCRB A detailed roadmap has been prepared for this purpose, but not much progress has been made. After today's conference, the Modus Operandi Bureau will oversee the entire process of using this data. Through this, we will not use it to punish criminals, but also to prevent them before they commit crimes. So there are two. Previously, we focused solely on catching criminals. Now, catching them doesn't help. If a criminal is caught, then complete the judicial process and ensure punishment, which will instill fear in others. So, Abir?
Second, prevent crime before it occurs. Through this, we will have to stop crime patterns, repeat offenders, and interstate and international criminal networks. Them as well. Friends, you have discussed many topics in today's conference.
I believe the NCRB director should form a team today to discuss the topics of the upcoming conference. These topics should be Bureau-centric, but by and large, Jatin Bancanos. Ultimately leading to utilization, ultimately leading to. The objective of these new judicial codes is that if a crime is registered in any corner of the country, the culprit should be convicted within 3 years. You can do that with confidence. All the loopholes in the system have been identified. 90% of the loopholes, the work of filling those loopholes has already been completed in the law itself. And to reduce volume-based delays, we are actively discussing with the Supreme Court of India. We are also going to establish peace courts. The Ministry of Home Affairs of the Government of India is actively discussing a new system for the disposal of criminal cases pending in the High Courts and the Supreme Court. Delays will not be tolerated under any circumstances. This is our firm resolve. However, simply increasing the number of judges and prosecutors will not suffice. We must also prepare our charges scientifically. We must pursue prosecutions. We must do everything possible to ensure that our cases are decided within the shortest possible time, and also cooperate with the court. I believe it is the responsibility of the Crime Records Bureau to inform all possible methods to move in that direction. This is precisely why the Crime Records Bureau was created. Now is the time to put into practice the vision of its creator. I am at least much more comfortable with the conference being held today as the crime records as the crucial component of our criminal justice system. From the day I became Home Minister, I have said that controlling crime in this country is impossible without the BPR and NCRB. But perhaps this important work wasn't given them the proper attention it deserved.
Many congratulations to the people of the NCRB for your hard work has proven your worth. And the NCRB has a major role to play in the future. The Fingerprint Bureau is a useful tool for our CAP. Hand designs and dear anoli. Students.
Discuss technology, but also its practical
Application and the development of the most accurate data collection method, man. This means developing the most accurate method for capturing data from crime scene, securing the collected data, and developing technology that minimizes the time required to search data from the
police station to the crime scene. If we move forward in this direction, I believe it will be very helpful in achieving our objective 9. Once again, I extend my best wish
and interacting. Of the scheme, you're seeing pictures of that.